music to play, places to go, and people to see. Everything for you and me. Life's a ball, if only you'd know it. And it's all just waiting for you. You're alive, so come on and show it. There's such a lot of living, such a lot of living, such a lot of living to do.
Whatever he becomes, it's going to be because that's where he wanted it to go. Benny, he's got that kind of talent.
Hello everyone, it's me, Melissa Nunez with iViveH2O, your Hispanic obsession. And today we have a very special guest. I have Benny Benack III, who is a well-renowned jazz musician. Say hello.
Hey y'all, hey Melissa.
Hi Benny, thank you for joining us. I'm super excited to have you because you have a lot of projects coming up. And not only that, we're gonna talk about the album that he just dropped in January, A Lot of Living to Do. Hey Benny, it's so nice to see you. I'm glad you're doing well.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm broadcasting to you live from my recording studio, also known as my bedroom here in the quarantine world. Everything is all in one place.
So where is your quarantine world? Where are you located in New York City?
I'm in Harlem, so I'm a little bit uptown from the place we're going to be talking about a little later, where we're doing a show on Friday. But it's been nice because this is really my bedroom, and I kind of have got all my microphones and my lighting and all my instruments set up. And, you know, your apartment becomes your office, right? So if you're a musician, that means your bedroom's the recording studio and, you know, where you write your music. So I've been here for a few months here. I've been in the city the whole time.
So for a person who I'm pretty sure most of your work is public concerts, places that's filled with people, how are you dealing with quarantine?
Yeah, it's been a crazy adjustment, and you know, I think we've seen a lot of artists. People have just had to be creative, right? Because there's still an audience out there. There's still people that are, even more than ever, they want entertainment, they want music, they want that escape, they want that joy that music brings them. And so you've seen people just take to the internet, and, you know, I've never done more collaborations with people remotely through recording and through videos. And, you know, it's actually led to some cool collaborations of artists that I might not have worked with before, or people internationally, you know, that I've collaborated on a song with, only because everybody's off the road and everybody's sitting at home, you know, trying to just be creative and make music. So, you know, I think there's going to be a couple things about the music world, even after the quarantine, even after the coronavirus stuff is over, that's going to stick. I think there's like a lot of potential in live streaming and going directly to the fans. I know you've been doing a lot of work on your Instagram Live too. I mean, it's a really cool way to just be directly talking to your fans and, you know, directly performing for them. So that's been cool. I mean, I miss playing in front of people. I miss real concerts, but, you know, it hasn't been all bad. You learn how to adjust.
So Benny, for those that might not know you personally, can you tell them a little bit about yourself? How is it that you got into music?
Yeah, so I moved to New York 10 years ago to go to Manhattan School of Music. So I came here for jazz college, basically, and I'm a jazz trumpet player and singer. I grew up playing piano, and jazz has been my whole life. I have a very musical family. My mom and dad met on stage. They were both in a band together. My mom's a voice teacher. My dad plays the saxophone. My grandfather, the first Benny Benack Sr., he was a pretty famous jazz trumpet player as well. So when I was like 9 years old, the first trumpet I played on was a cornet of my grandfather's. And a cornet is basically like a baby trumpet because I was so small, I couldn't even hold up a real trumpet. So I started with the piano when I was 4 or 5, and I was always singing, and, you know, the music has always been in my family. And I was lucky that when I decided I wanted to do it full time, and, you know, I didn't want to have a day job, I just wanted to support myself with music. My parents, being artists, you know, they were supportive of it. And so everything was pretty smooth sailing until Corona came around, and now we're all, you know, we're all trying to survive any way we can.
So you play the trumpet. you play piano, and you're a singer. You're a one-man band.
Well, it works out for quarantine. I've had to be a one-man band. I'm lucky for our show on Friday. I actually have a real bass player instead of me having to do everything with my hands.
Yes, guys. So for all of you that don't know about what's going on, this Friday, I put together a production here at Lulu NYC, which actually was supposed to open officially in March, but due to COVID, they weren't able to. But they decided to stay open anyways, in the community, doing delivery, doing to go, cocktails, and really honestly, it has kept the Chelsea neighborhood together. I think I've made more friends during quarantine, obviously safely, but a lot of people are finally taking the time to stop and get to know people. Now they're more, I think people are appreciating interactions a lot more. And what I decided, I just brainstormed. I said, well, everyone's doing streamings from home anyways. We have this beautiful open space, speakeasy style vibes that we have down here. And I found Benny online, and I loved his work and I loved his charisma, and I reached out to him about the idea and he absolutely loved it. So we're actually going to do a virtual show on Friday. And now that things are opening up and there's outdoor seating, guess what, Benny? You're gonna have an audience.
I know. That was the best part. The whole thing we were talking about when we started brainstorming about it, it was still the height of Corona. Nobody was going outside, And so we thought, well, it would be really cool to be able to do a live stream for people in, the speakeasy space, and just live stream it. But now, phase 2, we're out. People are putting their masks on and eating outside. So it's great. Now we get to actually have an audience, and we're still going to live stream too. So if for the people that are watching at home, we'll be able to have an audience on the screen and on the street. It'll be great.
Yeah, and also, by the way, something that Lulu has been doing is they've been doing a fundraiser where they raise money to feed the ICU workers, which, by the way, just because things are calming down a little bit, there are still a lot of workers out there, the nurses, the doctors that are still hard at work to keep everything afloat here in the community, in the hospitals. So just so you know, when you do order from Lulu's on the day of the concert, 10% of proceeds of sales from that day will go towards their fundraiser. Okay, guys? And if you're not able to order, maybe you're far away. Hey, if you're in Los Angeles, wherever you may be, you can still click on the link and donate, all right? And a little bit helps. Even sharing this video, sharing the event, sharing the stream, it just goes a long way, all right, guys? And not only that, we're also gonna have a virtual tip jar for Benny and Alexander Claffey. So if you love their performance, please feel free to show appreciation. All of us are going through this quarantine time, and we're showing the love of art, community. So we're just glad that you will able to join us.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully New York keeps kind of inching its way safely, back open, and we can have, music flowing from Lulu and the Speakeasy, for everybody to enjoy in person, because it really is a cool space. I can tell you must be down there right now, right? I could tell.
I'm at Lulu right now. It's been a second home to me. They're like family already. They let me use the space to do my live streams and my Instagram lives, and I just love being here, and I also love supporting them. Matthias has been a good friend of mine for years, and I'm so proud of him and happy that he finally is opening up his own place. And I'm really proud of how the venue is going through COVID, and I can only imagine when things are back to normal, how crazy amazing it's gonna be. We've had Fox 5 over here, we've had New York 1 over here, we've had so much continuous support. And Benny, I know you've even had a lot of highlights during COVID on TV. I saw that they interviewed you for, was it WPix 11?
Yeah, I did a song at the very beginning of quarantine. I filmed it right here on my keyboard. And it's funny because the song was based on an old Broadway song that's called Put on a Happy Face. And I made a parody of it called Put a Mask on Your Face. And I put it out the very first day of quarantine. And if you go back all the way to the middle of March, in the beginning, they were saying that you shouldn't wear a mask unless you were sick. And that's what people thought at that point.
Hey everybody, it's Benny Benack III coming to you from the Quarantine Cafe, otherwise known as my apartment in New York. I've got some advice for how we can all combat Corona this season. Corona's gonna clear up. Put a mask on your face.
So when the song came out, it kind of went viral on the internet a little bit. I was on Pix 11, and there were people on Twitter writing me that were like, you know, you're causing more harm. People shouldn't wear masks. Like, they should be donating them to the hospitals. And then, you know, a few weeks later, the science changed, and now they said, no, wait, now everybody needs a mask. So then I was kind of like off the hook. Then people were like, oh, well, maybe he was right, you know. So we did that, and I was lucky, and I was on New York 1 a few weeks ago for the 7 p.m. essential workers. On my friend's rooftop. We were having a socially distanced birthday party on his roof outside, and we played New York, New York at 7 p.m. for like the big clap. And somebody from like across the street on the other rooftop took a video of us playing and caught us. So, you know, it's been great, and it's been great just to find ways to still make music and be creative during these times.
By the way, guys, it's this Friday, June 26th. Officially, the stream is going to start at 7:30, but we will be doing a 7 o'clock cheer live outdoors in Chelsea. So if you happen to be strolling around, please come by, grab a cocktail, show support, come say hello to Benny, come say hello to me, to Lulu. Everybody loves Lulu, by the way. Lulu's an actual dog.
Lulu's the best, the best. They should see your promo video. Lulu's the star of the video.
Yeah, so we're going to put some clips of Lulu on for sure. So yeah, so we're going to be doing the 7 p.m. cheer before the actual stream. So I'm super excited about it. That's this Friday, June 26th, 7 p.m. And then the live show at 7:30, right? And not only that, Benny has another big show this Thursday. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so, you know, we mentioned the album that I put out at the end of January. I did a live album concert at Jazz at Lincoln Center at Columbus Circle in Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola. And that was one of the last big concerts that I had when I did the album release there. And they've been good to me over the years. You know, I always do a birthday show there and every November. Shout out to my Sagittarius. And basically, they've been doing a series of at-home concerts now going on, you know, at least a month and a half. So they have a Thursday series. And I'm doing another duo collaboration. Basically, I've been lucky. I've had a couple of these musicians that are my best friends that we've been kind of in each other's bubble and spending a lot of time together. And it's good to have friends that play the piano and play the bass, because then I have somebody to duet with me. So Thursday, we're doing a concert for Jazz at Lincoln Center. It'll be on their page, Dizzy's Club, and the Jazz at Lincoln Center page. And I'm doing that with my friend Emmett Cohen, who's a great pianist. And then our show Friday is with Alex Claffey, another great friend of mine who's a bass player. And, you know, we all know each other, and it's a really small world in the jazz scene. So, you know, I feel pretty blessed that I have 2 shows in 2 days when I haven't had 2 shows in 3 months before this week. So I'm really excited.
A lot of living to do. Tell us about your album, because I am loving that title, because that is what we need to be doing right now. We've learned so many lessons through this quarantine, and I feel like your album is probably the album of the quarantine.
Well, you're definitely right about that. I didn't know that the title was going to mean so much, you know, when I worked on it, but it's true. We're all trying to get back out there and live our lives, you know, as much as we can now. And you know, we hope that it continues here in New York. But the album, it's my second album as a solo artist, and I do write my own music, so I have some original jazz songs on there. But, you know, all the songs that I write, they end up sounding like, you know, they were in a musical in the 40s anyway. I'm very much an old soul. You know, my music is definitely kind of that jazz crooner, Frank Sinatra, Michael Bublé, Tony Bennett, Harry Connick, that kind of vibe when I sing. And then my trumpet playing, you know, I really love Miles Davis. I love Chet Baker. I love Louis Armstrong. All these, you know, amazing heroes of jazz music that are kind of my influences, my heroes. So, you know, it really is kind of like classic, timeless songs. And we do a couple songs from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, actually, on the album, because Mr. Rogers is from Pittsburgh, the town I grew up in. And so, you know, people that listen to the album or people that tune in for the show on Friday, I always play a lot of familiar songs and kind of classic jazz songs. And then I also try and put in some original music and, you know, try and put a fresh spin on it too. But at the end of the day, I'm an old soul. You know, I always say I was born in the wrong era. So, you know, I love the great old songs, and I love making everybody, you know, feel like they're, you know, listening to Frank Sinatra.
All right, Benny. So it's almost overdue. Do it again. Okay. Well, Benny, thank you so much for joining us today. And we just have a question for you at iViveH2O. If you can answer, we do have a really big Latin community here. So the question is, Benny, what is your Hispanic obsession?
Well, I don't know. I don't know where to start. I could say that I'm in love with the food. I'm in love with the culture. You know, one thing that definitely has struck me, I've been able to travel a lot around the world, and I just love kind of the intimacy and the, you know, the spirit of Hispanic people, and the way that their culture is all about family and all about coming together with people that you love, and, you know, not being afraid to express that, and, you know, embrace each other and be close. And, you know, those relationships are so important in that culture. And that's something that I really, you know, identify with. Family is really important to me too. And, you know, I am on the video with the lovely and talented Melissa Nunez. I would be remiss if I didn't say I may have a little soft spot for Hispanic women too. I don't know if I'd call it an obsession, but, you know, it might be close. So.
Thank you so much for that, Benny. And question for you, because you do all different kinds of styles of music, do you ever play with a little bit of a Latin flair? Maybe you have a special gig that might have a Spanish kind of kick. Do you think you can give us a little something for iVive?
Oh man, you know, when I was in college, I worked with Bobby Sanabria, who's kind of the godfather of Afro-Cuban jazz. And he's, you know, he's Puerto Rican from the Bronx. So he likes to say, man, I'm a freaking New Yorker, man. And I learned a lot about playing Afro-Cuban music, playing salsa, and you know, I love that music, and I love going out and playing in dance halls. So I think it's safe to say there's going to be a little bit of that on our show on Friday. We're going to mix it in there.
So do you think you can maybe play a little something for us, and then we'll end it there? Just
oh my gosh, let me get my trumpet. I don't even have it. Wait a second.
That's the most important thing.